Welcome everybody to some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare. They added Battle Royale solos to Warzone. I gotta give them props for getting on that real quick because in my last video on Warzone, I mentioned how I hope they introduce solos because I'm not a big fan of just constantly playing in a team. Sometimes I want to play in a team, sometimes I want to play by myself. So big props to Infinity Ward for adding that in so quickly because I expected them to add it at some point, but god, they got on that shit quick, which kind of makes me question, why wasn't it just there from the release? I don't know. I'm happy it's here now, I'm not gonna complain. I have still yet to achieve a win in Warzone, mainly because I just haven't been playing. I've actually just been playing other games. I'm not as hyped up about Warzone as I initially thought I was going to be. I'll definitely play it from time to time, but I've really been sticking to Red Dead Redemption 2 recently. I don't know, I really like that game. There's just so much depth behind it, and I can just pick it up, play it, and have a good time. But who knows, maybe I'm gonna win in this video. Fingers crossed. But regardless, moving along, let's talk about Call of Duty 2020. So some new stuff has been leaked regarding the next Call of Duty that is going to come out in the cycle. Oh my god, I just fucked that guy up. And then I get fucked up. I don't know why, but I'm getting very, very horrible lag spikes on this game. I'm not talking about, like, connection-wise. I'm talking about frame rate. I don't know why, but my computer is just suffering. I'm actually going to turn down my settings. It's weird. I shouldn't have any problems in terms of frame rate because if you look at my VRAM usage without changing any of my settings currently, I'm using very, very little of my VRAM. So I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with the optimization. I'm just going to blame it on that and stay in denial about my computer, you know, becoming underpowered, which I really doubt that's the case. Well, anyway, back onto Call of Duty 2020. Initially, it was going to be Sledgehammer Games who was going to be coming up next and was going to be developing the next game. Who knows what that was going to be? Maybe it was Advanced Warfare 2, which I doubt that's the case because everybody hates exo movement. Who knows what they were going to have in store. But things have actually changed due to development problems or something like that. Sledgehammer Games is no longer going to be the lead developer of the next game. It's actually going to be Treyarch, which is cool because I think Treyarch are a better studio than Sledgehammer Games. Even though I do consider their last game to be a bit of a flop, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it during its life cycle. But even with that, I would still consider Treyarch the most innovative studio. I still feel they make the best Call of Duty games. They are now going to be developing Call of Duty 2020 instead of Sledgehammer Games, and Sledgehammer Games is going to be assisting them along with Raven Software, which I think is great because Raven Software made Modern Warfare Remastered, and I know it's just a copy and paste job, but they did a fantastic job at creating MWR, and I really enjoyed it, so it's nice to see that they're going to be tagging along and helping out. But this begs the question of what the next Call of Duty is going to be. It would make sense that it was going to be, I don't know, Call of Duty Black Ops 5, but according to leaks and rumors, apparently it's not going to be Black Ops 5, and instead it's going to be a reboot of the Black Ops series. Now, when it comes to campaign and stuff like that, I don't mind a reboot of the series, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019's campaign was absolutely fantastic. To this day, I don't regret buying the game just simply because of the campaign. I thought it was excellent. In terms of the multiplayer, though, I don't exactly know what that's going to be like, because Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer is just god-awful. You guys already know my distaste for it. I don't enjoy it in the slightest, but to be fair, Treyarch do have a knack for making better multiplayer games in my opinion, and it is rumored that when it comes to the map design in the game, there are going to be more traditional style maps, which I don't want all maps to be boring 3-lane design. You guys know me, I want a bit of variety. I want some, you know, old school 3-lane design maps. I want some maps that are a little bit more chaotic in nature. I need a mix, I need a variety. Black Ops 4, where it went wrong in the map design is that every single map was 3-lane, and Modern Warfare 2019, what they did wrong was that every single map was chaotic and random, and it just felt really terrible. I think good map design has variety so that it doesn't feel like we're playing the same map over and over again, and it feels like we're getting new engaging experiences every single game. Yes, there are going to be maps that are worse than others and people are going to have a preference, but that's fine because if you get bored of the good maps, you can go to the maps that are not nearly as good. And just because they feel refreshing, just because they feel new, because we don't play them as often, we're going to generally enjoy that. Moving back towards the campaign, it is rumored that it is going to be a lot more dark, a lot grittier, a lot more controversial than Modern Warfare, which is really pushing it because Modern Warfare 2019 was already controversial enough. There's got to be a lot more shock factor. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't mind all this as long as it doesn't have an impact on how fun it is. Do you guys see these lag spikes I'm getting? Like, this is so weird. I wasn't getting this previously when playing with trios. Yo, this is actually borderline unplayable. Like, come on. Guys, I need you to take a look right here. Look at my graphics settings. I mean, I should not be lagging. I don't know. This is definitely going to be another reason why I don't want to play Warzone. I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to play when my computer is easily supposed to do a good job at running this game, but it's just laggy and just unplayable. I feel like it wasn't like this before. I feel like it ran way smoother when it originally came out. I hope they fix that up because it's really irritating. Back to Call of Duty 2020, it is rumored that we are not going to have automatic health regen in multiplayer. It is going to be stim shot in the same way it was in Black Ops 4. I don't really know if I'm a big fan of that. I kind of like the Modern Warfare 2019 system where you have automatic health regen, but then if you want a stim for faster health regen, you can actually pick it on your class. I think that's a perfect system, and I don't see why they wouldn't just go with that. It seemed like that was a step forward, so why are we taking steps back? Why are we deciding to go with systems that are worse instead of just keeping the ones that are better? According to them, it's essential to the game. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, but I simply don't understand how replacing stim shot with automatic health regen is going to ruin the game. Another thing that I'm curious about is the monetization system. Now, Modern Warfare 2019 has done a fantastic job. I will say that. They have done a great job with microtransactions, keeping them cosmetic only, no supply drops, and having a battle pass system, which I think is fantastic. It's a step in the right direction, and maybe they're going to keep that for the rest of this game's life cycle. I would hope so. But when it comes to Call of Duty 2020, they could easily fall back on their words and say nothing about the microtransaction system and then implement supply drops into the next Call of Duty. Maybe this year, because they promised there were going to be no loot boxes in this game, they decided to just take the losses, and maybe they're going to realize that the losses are just too much. Investors are unhappy, they're not making as much money, and they might think to themselves, okay, we're never doing this again. We're going to implement supply drops in every Call of Duty game from now on because we simply can't keep the investors unhappy. Also, if the game turns out to be unpolished or bad and a lot of the hardcore community ends up abandoning the game, then they have even more of an incentive to add supply drops to the game. Speaking of the game being unpolished, Treyarch were recruited to take over development for the game 9 months before the game was supposed to release, which is very, very late into the development cycle. It makes me question how polished this game is going to be at release, especially with the coronavirus affecting a lot of the people who are working at the studios. A lot of them have to work from home now. Now, I'm not going to put down money on what I think the game is going to look like when it releases, but from what we're hearing, it seems like development is a real nightmare right now. It sounds like a lot of things are going wrong and that the developers have a huge fire under their ass to get this game out on time. It wouldn't surprise me if they decide to go back to releasing the game in November rather than releasing it in October like they have for the last few years. And I would hope that they do that instead of trying to rush the game out, because at the end of the day, I want a complete game. If I'm going to spend my money on it, I want it to be good. But I don't know. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was a mess, and they had loads of time to develop that, and not as many things went wrong during the development process. And now we're hearing about Call of Duty 2020, where the maps don't even have graphics on them. A lot of the playtesters have reported that. I mean, it's very late into the game to get graphics onto the maps, or at least from my perspective. As I said, I'm not a game developer, so I have no clue. It just sounds like Call of Duty 2020, whether it's going to be Black Ops 5 or Call of Duty Black Ops Rebooted, which would be weird in terms of titling it because we already have a Call of Duty Black Ops. Are they going to name it Black Ops again, or are they going to name it Black Ops Rebooted? I have no clue. But when it comes to, as I said, the development process, it sounds like it's hell and that they're really far behind. And I can't exactly say that I'm excited for this game because I feel that it's going to be an incomplete mess upon release. I feel like the only way they can really salvage it and release a good product at day one is if they delayed the game for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, however long they need. I personally feel like this game is going to be very unfinished and that the day one experience is going to be really, really terrible unless some sort of miracle happens. It's really sad to say, but I don't really see this next Call of Duty being all that good, but I hope that I'm proved wrong. But I guess that's all I have to say about Call of Duty 2020. In the comments, leave your opinion on what you think this game is going to look like when it releases. Do you think it's going to be unfinished the way I do? And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.